Hey guys, welcome to the Life Theory Podcast. You know me, you know him. No need to introduce ourselves. Our names are in the description. I think are our names in the description?
Oh no, they're not.
We should probably put our names in the description and in the channel description too.
Yeah.
Anyway, That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about punishments. So you didn't know this, and you already drank some of that. I put poison in there.
Oh no.
So as a punishment for drinking hot chocolate, you're gonna die.
Oh no.
Specifically, we're like, hey, what is punishment, and what's the difference between like punishments and consequences? Because it's always like, well, I'm not punishing them; I'm giving them a consequence. What does that mean? Well, I'd love to talk about that because it's something that's interesting to us, and we'd love to talk to you guys about that. First, what are we drinking?
We are back to our spicy hot chocolate, although not quite as spicy.
And by spicy, he means caffeinated.
Caffeinated, yes. So it's just hot chocolate, coffee, a little bit of creamy milk, and in our matching mugs.
I'm not gonna lie, this is better.
Yeah.
This is so good. Okay, yeah, no, the matching mugs, complete accident.
Yep, I bought that for him a little while back. Then my wife and I were at Goodwill. I saw this and I'm like, hey, this is a great idea.
And I agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what is a consequence? Let's start with that one.
Okay. So, let's start with just the definition of consequence.
Yes, sir.
And that is that which follows from any act, cause, principle, or series of actions. Literally just what follows.
Yeah.
This happened, this follows, the following is the consequence.
Yeah. A synonym would be like a result.
Yeah.
It's so what happened next, Like it's very simple. It's just what happened after you did something.
Mm-hmm.
You did the thing, then what happened?
Consequences happened.
Yeah. And so, are consequences punishments?
No.
No.
But yes, but no.
So, the answer is not necessarily.
Yeah.
Because, like, by definition, consequence could be good or it could be bad.
Mm-hmm. So, some consequences can be punishments.
Yeah.
But not all consequences are punishments.
Yeah. So to be, I think we have almost been like teasing him on it. The the idea we're trying to get at is that there's the punishment, and then there's the reinforcer.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is jargon that I use from working in ABA, applied behavioral analysis, and so, but it's a very simple concept of a reinforcer means something that reinforces the likelihood of something happening. Mm-hmm. So, if you punch someone in the face and you get a piece of candy for it, that's a reinforcer.
Yeah.
If you punch someone in the face and you get punched in the face, that's a punishment. Because the idea of a punishment is it's a consequence given to make it less likely for something to happen.
Yeah, but both the candy or the punch in the face were both consequences.
Yep.
Even though one was also a punishment.
Exactly. So, I know we've heard it a lot, like parents being like, well, I'm not punishing them, I'm giving them a consequence. Well, usually when they say that, their consequence is meant to make it less likely for something to happen.
Mm-hmm. Which is a punishment.
Yes. And so, It's, I think sometimes it's kind of like I don't know, a way, like, they try to, like, distinguish it from, like, punishments, like, criminal punishments.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the goal of criminal punishments?
Is to cause an action to stop being repeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you get charged $250 every time you break the speed limit, eventually you're going to want to not break the speed limit.
And real quick, you're not going to get charged $250 every time. That's just the minimum. If it keeps happening, they're going to go up with the fine.
Yeah.
So don't break the speed limit.
Yeah, don't. It's not worth it. But stuff like that, it makes it less or more likely. And one thing that's interesting, when people think of punishments, they think of what is called, like, contrived punishments or conditioned punishments. Contrived or conditioned consequences, which is something that either they've just, someone made it up as a consequence for what you do, rather than
What I would call natural consequences.
Natural consequences, which are called automatic reinforcers, or automatic punishments. So, like, we think of, like, a punishment being a $250 fine. Now, if you're going down a country road and there's no one there but you, do you get a $250 fine? No. But does it make it more likely that you'll spin out, hit another car, or spin out and hit the ditch and die? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's still can be a consequence to the action of speeding, even if it's not a contrived punishment. There can still be the natural punishment.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of the idea of contrived punishments, is to stop natural punishments from happening. So, like, we had a thing, like, if we crossed the line, I need to give some context.
Yeah.
We had a long driveway, and we were right on a county highway. This was me growing up. And my dad spray painted a line near the end of the driveway, but not even close. You still had to run for a bit to actually get to the end. And he painted that line. He said, you can't cross there with your bikes, with your feet. Doesn't matter. You cannot cross this line. Right? And if we went past that line, we got punished by our dad. And the reason he did that, which was an artificial punishment, was so that we wouldn't have any natural punishments of getting hit by a car.
Yeah. Going 55 miles an hour.
AKA, you dead.
Yeah.
Like, there's no coming back from that. And so, my dad, in his wisdom, thought, I'm going to give them less severe artificial punishments to try to keep them away from the natural punishments. Which is something I've found out I miss.
Yeah.
I miss it so bad.
You miss not having the responsibility of having to be, like, create your own punishments.
Yeah, and not being, and having, I miss having artificial punishments rather than natural punishments.
Oh, yeah.
Because artificial punishments are consistent, predictable, and fair.
Yeah.
Like, they go, you did that, you're getting a spanking. And I go, you know what, that's fair. Like, that checks out. And then now it's like, oh, you got that? Well, now you don't have a job, you can't eat. I'm like, whoa, hold up. That was a small thing I did. But that's the things we can't control. And so, it's interesting that how consequences work. But I do want to kind of talk about the more like the automatic, the attention escape. Do you want to give like a brief idea of what that is?
So automatic consequences are just along that same definition of the natural consequences.
Mm-hmm.
This happens, here's your consequence. That's
Yeah.
just how things
It's
work.
like a result of what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you smash a vase, the vase is broken.
Yeah, that's just
That's
your automatic
natural.
consequence. You're not, yeah. And then there's attention consequences. And attention is, this is the consequence to your action, and it's there, it's
It
like,
matters because of like how we're being perceived.
yeah. I don't remember what I was
So,
going to say about that.
well, like with attention, like you see this in kids a lot, but also like in adults, where they'll do something to get attention,
Mm-hmm.
or some people will do stuff to avoid getting attention. But a lot of things, it's because you want attention, and like a lot of kids, there's a lot of kids where you have to teach them right ways to get attention and wrong ways to get attention.
And so those lessons taught, because are the consequence, the attention consequence. Like, you're hoping to either gain attention or not have attention,
Yeah.
and here's the consequence from that.
Yeah, like a punishment for attention would be like timeout.
Mm-hmm.
You got a timeout. No attention from anyone. You have to sit on your own. Think about what you're doing. Like, and so that's the that's attention.
And then the escape consequence is,
Well, just like escaping a situation, right?
yeah, is
Like if you don't want to be like at the table, and so you say you have to use the bathroom.
oh yeah. I like totally blanked on
That's okay.
on that, the what we were going for the definition of that. But yeah, like, so the consequence of like that, an awkward situation, so you
Yeah.
escape from that, the consequence of doing that is, well, now you don't
Have to be there.
Yeah, you don't have to be there. Now it is a different consequence from what could have been coming from that awkward situation.
I mean, I think everyone's had the idea, when they are told to go to bed, but they don't want to go to bed. So like, oh, I need a glass of water. Oh, I need to use the bathroom. You're just avoiding going to that place. You're like, I don't want to go to bed. So I'm just going to come up with reasons. And the reason you want to do that thing is to avoid going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting because once you understand these things, once you understand a punishment versus a reinforcer, and I don't know if I went into that much, but reinforcer is the opposite of a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
A punishment, you get something taken away so that you don't do, you get your game taken away to remind you not to slack off on the dishes next time. Whereas a reinforcer is you get extra time on your game because you got the dishes done early.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you understand the idea of like, okay, so here's our positive reinforcer and our negative reinforcer. Here's our, reinforcer and our punishment. And you can implement that in your own life. It really helps. Like, this is one of the greatest tools for like habits.
Yeah.
And setting good habits, breaking bad habits. Because often a habit is done because, well, almost always it's because of the consequence. Like a lot of them, like the bad habits, the consequence is you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have there's usually going to be a second consequence as well of like it ruins your life.
Yeah.
Like if you drink alcohol, you feel great for a while. That's what I've been told. I have not drank alcohol. But and scientifically, you feel great because your brain lowers its functions, it's less inhibited, you feel more free, you feel great. Next day, don't feel so great.
You wake up with a hangover.
Yeah, and then you miss a day of work, which is missing a day of pay, possibly. Or you end up throwing up at work and get sent home.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that happen. And then you're losing money, which means you can't support your family. Or you might just straight up lose your job.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was caused by something that had an automatic reinforcer
Mm-hmm.
and a long-term punishment.
Yeah.
And so, like, looking at that of, yeah, right now, it's great. Right now, scrolling on my phone for 3 hours, awesome. Feels good while I'm doing it. As soon as I'm done, I don't know, it doesn't feel so good.
No, yeah.
And then when I have to go to bed and I have to look back on my day and say, what did I get done? And the answer is nothing. Ugh. Does not feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, the other thing, which this is just technical, but I wanted to add it in to just kind of round out the definitions, is positive and negative. And it's the best way to think about this is addition and subtraction, not really positive and negative.
Yeah.
Because we think negative, bad, positive, good. But this is talking addition and subtraction.
And this is specifically on the topic of punishments. Like,
It's punishments and reinforcers, actually.
oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, specifically on consequences, a positive reinforcer or punishment is something that's added. So for a reinforcer, you give your child a piece of candy when they go to the bathroom when they're really little to make it more likely that they'll want to go to the bathroom the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And a positive punishment is you give someone a speeding ticket, so adding to their bill of what they have to pay to make it less likely that they'll speed in the future.
Yeah. And then negative is the opposite.
The opposite of taking stuff away. And it can take away automatic attention and escape. Like alcohol is an automatic negative reinforcer. Mm-hmm. Because it takes away things. Yeah. It takes away your sorrows and your troubles and your problems. And that makes you feel better because you have less to worry about.
So it's a reinforcer, but it's negative.
Yeah, because it's subtracting.
It's subtracting, yeah.
Yeah. And so knowing that it's more of just an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. But I want to add that. And then like negative reinforcer would be like if you clean your room, or if you, like my dad would be like, okay, if you help me with this project, it was like a big project, he's like, you won't have to do your chores tonight. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. So again, that's a negative reinforcer again.
Yeah, I was saying taking away chores.
Negative punishment would be like, oh, you can't go to the party because you did this.
Yeah.
So
if you help me with this big project, then, I'll give you $5 for helping me, $10, there's a positive, but it's not a, but it's a positive consequence.
Yeah.
Of
an additive reinforcer.
Yeah.
So now that we kind of like got the definitions out of the way, I guess, I want to take the last little bit, these last like 10-ish minutes to be like, okay, cool. We got like I guess some logic tools in our tool belt that we can use. How do we use this? And what are some things to think about to be careful not to like fall into?
Well, the biggest thing that can really affect us is when we feel like we're doing the right thing. We feel like, especially as Christians, we feel like this is God's will. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but then it just starts feeling like I'm getting punished for doing all this stuff. Like, what's going on? And the biggest thing to remember is sometimes it's not a punishment. Sometimes it's just a consequence of what's going on. It's not, it's an automatic consequence that...
And it might not be God, like, artificially punishing you. Trying to be like, you're wrong!
Yeah. It's just, you did this, but then we have to remember that we're not the only person in the world. So there's however many other people who are also connected to our lives, and the consequences of their actions also affect our lives. And so when all these different consequences mix, sometimes it turns out negative for us, even when we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But that's like why we need to focus on, in our Christian life, our ultimate consequence. Like, the ultimate result of what we're doing. What is that? Should be
We're
glorifying.
yeah,
Yeah, it should be like
should be
that we're glorifying God, and like we're in His Word. When we're in His Word and we see, like, I wanted to bring up in Acts 5, right? This is talking about the apostles. This is after Jesus had gone up to heaven, ascended, given them the Great Commission to preach the gospel to every nation, right? And that's a command devoid of consequence. It's like, regardless of the consequence, preach the gospel.
Yeah.
And He does say, and lo, I am with you always. So that's an automatic it's like, because I'm here. So don't worry about it. And I love, so they're preaching the gospel. And then in verse 17, it says, then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation. So one of the consequences was they got some people mad.
Yeah.
And they laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. Oh, my apologies. And put them in the common prison. Okay, another consequence. They got put in prison. So far, looking pretty bad.
Yeah, and these were consequences because
they didn't do a wrong thing.
Yeah, they had been told, preach the gospel. So they were doing the right thing, but then a negative consequences.
Yep, and so that would be a punishment, but it's not a punishment from God.
Yes, yeah.
And so to distinguish that, to go, oh, wait, I'm doing what's right. The world is just punishing me for it. Which means God's going to still use it for a good consequence. And He does. Because in 19 it says, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go and stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And I love what they did. After the negative consequences they had gotten, or actually, the positive punishments, whatever.
Yeah.
After the bad things that happened to them, right? They got up. The Lord's like, nah, here, open this up. You got work to do. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, God just came in like, yeah, let's.
Oh, that is actually God, because it's the angel of the Lord, capital Lord, or capital L, lowercase O-R-D. Yeah, so Jesus came back down and He's like, no, we got work to do. Let's go. And, right? The angel of the Lord would be...
No, because Jesus isn't coming back until in Revelation.
Oh, interesting. So maybe not. I'll have to look into that. Either way, a messenger of God. Go stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And so they went, and they literally just kept doing it. They kept preaching. The officers came. They're like, whoa, 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 hold up. What happened? And then they literally feared the people because of that. And so they didn't take them with violence. They just, because they thought they're going to kill us if we take them with violence. Like, they know there's going to be bad repercussions if you violently silence a good man. Mm-hmm. And so they have a whole speech. They have a whole conversation. In verse 29, Peter says, it says, Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, after everything they, the Sadducees accused them of, we ought to obey God rather than men. Mm-hmm. And it was fascinating because they knew there was an eternal consequence and a spiritual consequence that mattered more than their earthly punishments.
Yeah.
And so then they go into their entire... They talk for a bit, and then there's a Pharisee that talks, and he is saying, hey, let's chill out a little bit. And he ends his... you guys absolutely should read this entire chapter. It's amazing. Acts 5 is very encouraging. And he says in verse 38, this is him ending his speech, talking about, other people that were said that they were God, or said that, said they were the savior of the world, and nothing happened. And so in 38 he says, And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel, or this work, be of men, so if this counsel, our counsel right here, or this work, these guys, be of men, it will come to naught. Mm-hmm. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it.
Yes.
Lest haply ye be found even to fight against God. Mm-hmm. And you want to know what the consequence of fighting against God is? You lose.
Yeah.
That's the consequence.
You lose.
That's called positive punishment. Mm-hmm. You get a beating.
Yes.
And so then the last two verses I love, because it shows the contrast of the physical punishment and the spiritual reinforcer. It says, And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach or preach Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And so that whole coming to naught thing didn't really turn out so good.
If it comes to naught, then it wasn't of Christ. Or it wasn't of God.
And
2,000 years later, it still hasn't come to naught.
Yep. And so I love, they counted it joy. Mm-hmm. They were rejoicing. They're like, yes! Woohoo! The reason is, they knew there was a greater consequence. Mm-hmm. And so, in our life, if we have bad habits, then we need to deal with them, get them out of the way.
Yeah.
But if we have good things in our life that we're doing, and we feel like we're being punished for them, we need to prayerfully continue to do those things that we have learned and been assured of, according to the Bible, because only God truly knows the eternal consequences.
Mm-hmm. And the encouragement for us is even when we're getting those negative consequences.
I mean, just recently, Charlie Kirk, he had a negative consequence for preaching the word, for standing up for issues that he believed were morally bad.
Mm-hmm.
They say he talked about the 3 most dangerous topics: politics, religion, and gender.
Yeah. Yep.
And the consequence was that he died.
Mm-hmm. Somebody murdered him.
Someone murdered him, and it was explicitly for his words.
Mm-hmm.
And we even see that in the Bible. People that have preached the word and been murdered for it.
Yeah. But then there's also another consequence.
Yep, just like in verse 42.
Now he's with God. Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's like, oh no, don't threaten me with heaven.
I know. Like, Charlie Kirk, he's fine. He's doing great right now.
Yeah. And understandably, the loss of especially those closest to him is, I'm sure, very great.
Yeah.
But there's also the other consequence of taking out somebody who had a great voice for the things of God.
And a great influence on young people.
Mm-hmm. Now, we have a lot of people stepping up and being like, encouraged that if this guy could stick it through all the way to what we call the very end, well, maybe I can stand up.
Yeah.
Maybe I can be a great voice for God and be reaching out to the people around me.
Yeah. And so that is just an example of what you see in the Bible all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, any time someone chooses to follow God, the consequence is always that God gets glorified.
Mm-hmm.
And the consequence is always that his word goes forth. And it says, my word will not return to me void. Which means there's going to be a result of my word. My word's going to have consequence. What's the consequence of word? It convicts men of sin. It teaches people in the way of righteousness. So if we look at this chain of events, this spiritual dominoes, the consequence, no matter what earthly punishment, what conditioned punishments you get that people make up because they want to... Because, again, go back to that traffic stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why do they give you a ticket? Why do they give you a contrived consequence?
Because of your actions of disobeying their laws.
And why do they have that law in place? What are they trying to prevent by giving you an artificial consequence?
Natural consequences.
Yeah. So what do you think people murdering Christians are doing? That's an artificial consequence they gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because they don't want the natural consequence of them being wrong.
Yeah.
Which leads to all their own beliefs being countered and being wrong,
and they don't want the natural consequence, which is God's word goes forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know if we don't shut this guy up, people are gonna start to listen.
Yeah.
If we don't shut this guy up, he just might turn the USA upside down.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? He kind of did.
He kind of did. And this is something my dad was saying. He's like, now Charlie Kirk is always right. His big thing was prove me wrong. No one ever proved him wrong, and now they cannot prove him wrong.
They can't, because he specifically said it in so many. He's like, I believe in open conversation and communication, because as soon as we stop talking, violence happens. As soon as we stop talking, like, these things happen. And he predicted literally his own death. He said, if you guys don't talk, if we don't talk to each other, if you're not willing to have a conversation with me, the only thing left is violence.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what it came to, because they couldn't prove him wrong.
They couldn't.
They got rid of him, and now they have no opportunity to prove him wrong. The consequence is that he's always right.
Yeah, that's the consequence. Because he, from the beginning to the end, stood on the Bible, proved the Bible was right, stood on his morals, proved his morals were right, and they, in their immorality, proved his morals to be correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's just
a big example.
Anecdotal example of a biblical principle.
Yeah.
Which is, don't serve God regardless of the consequence. Serve God because you know the actual consequence. Don't worry about the artificial consequences of being less famous or having less money or people mocking you and ridiculing. Those are all just there to try to dissuade you, whether it's your flesh or the people around you or the devil himself, trying to dissuade you from continuing with God because they don't want the natural consequence, which is people get saved.
Yes.
Like, oh man, I know this is getting long, but I just have to say, I went soul winning with a friend of mine. He's the one who's like, we should go soul winning. I'm like, I don't want to. Because there's a consequence of, now I get less done. Now I'm going to be more tired. Now I'm going to have like difficult conversations, And that's, that is your body saying, I don't want to. But I said, but I'm going to. I decided, I purposed in my heart, this is a good thing. And I want to do this. We only got 4 houses. So we got, like, my neighbor, the one that's two blocks over.
Okay.
And he was very much not interested. The next one over, also not interested. The next one over, nobody was there. And then we got to the 4th house. This lady, when I tell you she was interested, I mean she was asking so many very good questions.
Yeah.
And going back to the consequences of Charlie Kirk's death. That shook her up.
Yeah.
Because it was only 2 days after his death. And she's like, oh man, with everything happening, I can't believe what's happening.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't even agree with him. But nobody should die like that. No one deserves to die.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect opportunity to bring up the gospel and the faith. And she asked questions that almost seemed like they were written for me. Yeah. Not for me even, because I wasn't even 100% sure how I was answering it, because it was the Holy Spirit. But I was just like, what? I have answers for this. Like, the Holy Ghost was just, like, working in me and working in William. We were going back and forth, giving her straight up just, she's like, but what about this? What do you do about this? I was like, there's a verse for that. It's like, what do you do about hypocrisy? There's a verse for that. Like, and we were able to just, I had a Bible. William had a Bible. We actually gave her a New Testament because William had 2 in his bag.
Okay.
And so we're just going through the gospel, going through the Bible, talking about things, answering her questions. Oh my goodness, it was a wonderful conversation. And I was like, oh snap, yeah, this was worth it. That was a consequence.
The consequence of stepping out of your comfort zone and intentionally going to try and reach others.
Yeah. It was so cool. So I just need to encourage you guys. It can be very frustrating sometimes to dealing with, one, the consequences of your own stupidity and trying to get that undone. And that's why I'm trying to give you guys some tools to just kind of understand. Try to manipulate the consequence. And then that manipulates whether you're going to do it or not. But, and the Bible talks about that, renewing your minds and having a right perspective. If you have a right perspective, then you're not going to want to do things that are evil, because the biggest thing is remembering your eternal consequences. The crowns you can cast at Jesus' feet. The people you can lead to the Lord. Yeah. The testimony you can be. The encouragement you can be if you're following the Lord.
Yep. Yeah.
So, that's basically it.
Yeah. That's punishments versus consequence, which we found
versus reinforcements.
We found out that punishments are consequences.
Yep.
And everything just falls under.
But remember, consequences aren't always punishments.
Yes.
You can rejoice in your consequences if it's for the Lord's sake. Because you have a better one. You got a better consequence. And that's a reinforcer no matter what happens.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for catching or staying with us throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, this was really like kind of goes to the namesake of our channel, where we're kind of figuring it out and like kind of unwrapping and unraveling it.
Yeah.
And I really like that. So if you guys like more like this, let us know. I love comments, like legitimately. If you can comment, oh, that'd be awesome. I love reading them.
And maybe I'll be a little bit more awake and a little more contributing next time. It's okay. It's been a long weekend.
Yes.
But
the man got up early, went to bed late, has a pregnant wife. It's the whole kit and caboodle. I'm sure you men get it.
Yeah. But also a reminder, we are going to be going live.
Yes.
In, I guess it'd be a couple months still.
October 20th.
Next month. Yeah.
Right?
Is it? Yes.
October 20th?
I think so. Because it's at 20 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So 11's coming out.
So
12,
I know it was
13, 14, 15, 16, or was it 15?
17. It was 18, 19, 20. Oh, the 12th.
November 12th.
I believe so.
We'll figure that out. I will put it in the description.
Yes.
And
we'll have it. Read this.
Yeah, right there. That will be...
This is the date.
That's the date.
Right there.
And for those of you listening on audio, just check the description. I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
But we're going to go live. That'll be the finale for our season. Then there'll be just a couple weeks break. Yep. And we'll come back again.
2 weeks break to enjoy the fall and the Thanksgiving and the crazy shopping. And then we'll be right back with an episode.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.